Welcome to Off the Record. Today we're going to talk about COVID and youth sports. What up, man? So, man, this week on the sports show, we actually got some local news to jump off with that I know you guys are itching to jump into. So I know both of you saw the John Wall, Russell Westbrook trade. I'm just gonna ask you, man, like, how do you feel about the trade? Do you think the trade was even? Do you think one team came out on top? How are y'all feeling about it?
Well, since I'm a Wizards fan, good for Washington, sucks for Houston, and I don't say that in a disrespectful way to John Wall. First and foremost, shout out to John Wall. His I want to say 7 to 10 years in DC. He did the best job he could. He electrified the city when he was here, and he's going to a new a new venture. And so let me say that first and foremost. I think he really did what he could do in DC, and no bad blood. So let me get that out of the way. So for Washington, I think it's great. You get a point guard that is, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Someone that you can rely on. Someone that that is going to come out game in and game out and going to give you 120%. And his resume speaks for itself. And it's something for that we have for the short term. Nothing for the long term, as well as from the contract standpoint, we were able to get that get that money off the books. And just like we discussed, I want to say last episode, John Wall had 3 more years left on his contract. He was getting paid. He was going to get broke off. He's pretty much going to get broke off these next 3 years. So you had to look at that from the contract standpoint. So overall, I think the Wizards, they did a good job. I think they got a great player in Westbrook. Like I said, Hall of Famer, and he's gonna electrify the team.
Yeah, I agree. I think Russell Westbrook's going to do really well in Washington. I think Washington's going to like Russ. I think they should be a better fit than Russ and Harden. Beal is he averaged what, over 30 a game this past season. He is a legit player. Okay, he's definitely, in my eyes, he's definitely top 10 in the league. Yeah, especially if he's a two-way player. He can shoot he's nice. We'll put it that way. But he's not a player that I feel has, like with Harden, he got to have a rock in his hands. He could play off ball, but he got to have a rock in his hands. Beal, he can play off ball to West. You know what I'm saying? And he can, and when you need him to, he can be that number one guy. Give it to him on the wing or wherever on the court and let him go one-on-one. So because of that, I think they'll probably be a better fit. Just taking a look at their roster. Right before we jumped on, I missed when they got Robin Lopez. They got Ish Smith, Shabazz Napier, Bertans, Hachimura, who nobody really is talking about. They got a pretty good team. They definitely gonna be something to reckon with out east. I like the move. Now for the Rockets, we know that Harden, he wants to be in New Jersey. We know that. Okay, so they're gonna probably make a move there. Like Houston is not. And you've pointed this out plenty of times over the past couple of weeks, Alex. That Houston's not really. They don't look like they're not trying to gear up for a championship. They're trying to gear up for like a rebuild, and just getting as much as they can. Put out a competitive product on the court while they rebuild. But we see how well that works. But I like it.
Yeah, I think the Wizards won this trade, man. Look, they're going to compete for a playoff spot, and I think if you're the Wizards, that's what you want. So you want to be able to compete for a playoff spot. I think it'd be really interesting if they get the 7th or 8th seed and Brooklyn gets the 1 or 2 seed and Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook end up matching up in the first round. That'll be interesting. Westbrook is not only is Westbrook the better player over Wall, just not only because Wall's been injured, but just historically, like you said, Kwon, Westbrook's going to the Hall of Fame. You don't average 3 years of triple doubles. You're an MVP. Like, there's a lot of people down on Westbrook, but I'm looking at his numbers, man. He averaged 27 points last year, 27, 8, and 7. I mean, he can still play. And I think, to your point, Brandon, while Harden has to have the ball in his hands almost all the time, Bradley Beal can come off the ball, and he should be much better next to Westbrook than Harden was. So I think that they're going to be a much better fit. So I think you make the trade. I mean, the Wizards did give up a draft pick, but the draft pick has some protections on it. So I don't really know how valuable the pick is. But Houston, John Wall hasn't played since 2018, 2019. And that year he played 32 games. The year before, in 2017, 2018, he played 41 games. He hasn't really played a full season, 78 games or so, since 2016. So, I mean, like, I have no idea what Houston's getting out of Wall, but I do think the Wizards need to be concerned about this part. Fred Katz from the he's a beat writer for the Wizards and for the Athletic. Here's what Fred Katz said. Bradley Beal told the media, it's been an emotional week, definitely been tough the last 24, 48, 72 hours. Just kind of letting it all seep in and realizing your brother is no longer here with you. He's gone off to something better. I don't know if that's Bill taking a shot at the Wizards, because if it is, the Wizards got a problem.
You can take, look. So you can take it both ways. If that was a shot, it is a problem. But if it wasn't a shot, I think he's put in a situation to where he's giving praise and he's showing support for John Wall, because I really do feel as if the brother really wants to play. I really feel as if and he can play, and I really feel as if that mentally he more than likely probably sees himself as one of the best point guards in the league. All right. So, and that's the competitive nature of the game. So he sees that, and it hasn't really been that great. Just like you said, you went through the stats, Alex, and it hasn't been the best stats since 2016. He hasn't played. So maybe he does that and he says, hey, this is somewhere where you can go, you can rebuild, you can start over, start fresh. And, you never know, sky's the limit, but it just wasn't the best fit in Washington for him anymore.
Well, if it wasn't a shot at the Wizards franchise, have either of you been to Houston? Like, was it a shot at the city of DC versus Houston? the city of Houston?
I was born in Houston. So yeah, I've been. I think it might have been, for Wall's particular situation, it could have been just a better situation for him and not necessarily a shot at the organization as a whole, but maybe just for John Wall's situation for himself. I mean, because John Wall has been involved in trade talks for quite some time. I think it's been at least a couple years, him and Bradley Beal together. At least the conversation was started. At some point, you're gonna have to get rid of one of them. Which one is it going to be? And with Wall's issues with his availability, this has probably been something that's been lingering over his head for quite some time. And it could be just maybe there's some type of closure to this situation for Wall. And maybe that's what he was alluding to, rather than it being a shot at the organization. But I don't know. I don't know, because, Bill might have said that, but he also said that he was excited that Russ was on his way there. So, they're gearing up for the season. I don't think they don't sound like anybody's unhappy, but just, Wall got some closure to his situation, at least temporarily. And that's probably what he's alluding to.
Well, so I think we all agree that DC will compete for a playoff spot.
Yeah.
But Houston was the 4 seed last year, and Wall has barely played the last 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Is Houston still in the playoffs this year? So let's say Wall is either is, working his way back, or he's still dealing with injuries. Is James Harden good enough to still get Houston in the playoffs by himself this season?
He's gonna need help. Any player, man, he's gonna need some help.
And just to throw out the teams: the Lakers, the Clippers, the Nuggets, the Thunder, the Jazz, the Mavericks, the Blazers, the Suns, the Grizzlies, New Orleans, Golden State.
You just named 5 teams that I don't see them competing against. If you don't, even if you have James Harden. So
three of those teams weren't even in the playoffs last year. The Suns, the Kings, the Warriors. Pelicans, I think they've all gotten better.
Yep.
The Pelicans too. I think they all got better. Yeah, that's it. It's going to be tough, but I mean, Harden is look. They still have good players. They still have good players on their roster, but once Harden goes, I think that's. It depends on when he goes. If Harden sticks it out, and he finishes the season in Houston, I still think that they can be a playoff team. I mean, even if Wall is half the player that he is, I mean, they are still a good team without Russell Westbrook. So I don't put them as a contender as I thought they would have been last year, but they'll make the playoffs. Well, you know what? Let me take that back. Those are all the teams that we just listed. Those teams got significantly better. I don't know, man. Good luck, Houston.
Well, do you think what are the odds that Harden finishes the season in Houston?
I mean,
he loves the strip clubs there, right? So that's one reason to stay.
Yeah, I mean, he can go to strip clubs anywhere, though. He probably got accustomed to some strip clubs in Houston. But I mean, he can. I say the odds may be slim. They don't give him some help. I mean,
yeah. If he's pushing to be moved and he's asking them to trade him now, then they need to go ahead and try to do that as soon as possible. I think hanging on to him while he's like that, it's not beneficial to either party. So if Harden is indeed pushing for a trade, I think it gets done this season, during the season. He doesn't finish in Houston.
He's got 2 years left on his contract, I think. And if he had 1 year left, he could certainly force his way out. I mean, you mentioned it earlier, Brandon. It seems like the team he wants to go to is the Nets. There have been talks that the Warriors placed a call to Houston and discussed the trade. I mean, look, Steph Curry can clearly play off ball, but if the Warriors could somehow pull off a trade for Harden, do you like the fit with him on that squad?
Steph, Draymond.
Yeah, Clay's going to be gone for a season.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great shoe-in. That's a great – I don't want to say a shoe-in because James Harden is no shoe-in to anybody in the league, except for LeBron. But that's a great piece because you already know they don't have – Clay's not coming. He's not going to be playing this season because of injury.
They got Oubre. If they tried out on the court, Steph, Oubre, Harden, Wiseman, Draymond, that's a damn good team.
You'd probably have to give up. I'd say you have to give up Wiseman and Oubre, right, to get Harden.
True.
Yeah.
So then you do it?
That's a good question. How do you do it? I mean, look.
If I'm Golden State, I'd probably do it. I would probably do it. I mean, because getting Harden and Steph together, man, that's killer. But I mean, you got to do what you got to do. I think Golden State really is strong with what they have now. It wouldn't be. I'd have to really think about it, because it wouldn't be like a oh yeah, I'm definitely pulling the trigger on that. I mean, yeah, Wiseman, you don't know what he's going to be, but I mean, he's a big man with a lot of skill. I mean, he's got the skill set to be a superstar, and I think Oubre the same thing. So I mean, you're looking at trading not just 2 good players, but also your future for right now. That would be tough. That would be tough.
Well, I don't know how it shapes out. It's going to be an interesting season no matter what. Yeah. So I want to jump to this Clippers article or Clippers scandal, however you decide to look at it. The Athletic surprisingly dropped this article earlier in the week discussing the chemistry issues that helped derail the Clippers title run. And, before the season, a lot of people picked them or the Bucks. My Lakers weren't necessarily the favorites by a lot of people out there, but the Clippers were certainly one of the favorites. And this article, man, detailed some of the issues that were going on internally with the Clippers this year. And just to highlight a few of those things, players were upset that Kawhi Leonard and Paul George were allowed to have their own personal security and trainers. Leonard and Paul George had the power over the team's practices, travel schedule, and Leonard canceled several practices on his own. Kawhi was allowed to live in San Diego and commute to LA, which it's a 3-hour drive. But even if you're taking a helicopter or a jet, it's, you're not in LA, but that caused several team flights to be late. Then Kawhi, superstars usually have to talk to the media. Well, Kawhi and Paul George would typically wait 45 minutes to talk to the media, forcing their teammates to do it first and their teammates to take the brunt of questions after losses and things like that. Then it's reported that Kawhi he commandeered the female locker room at Staples Center, and women would have to, women who needed to change, the female staffers of the Clippers who needed to change or use the restroom were not permitted to do so because Kawhi was using their locker room for his personal training sessions. It's a lot of stuff, man. And then Paul George went on a podcast the other day and basically said Doc Rivers was trying to use him like JJ Redick and threw Doc Rivers under the bus. If you recall, Paul George used to date Doc Rivers' daughter and cheated on her with a stripper and got the stripper pregnant. So there's a lot of things that went down with this Clippers team. But, are you surprised that there were all these internal issues with Kawhi and Paul George and the rest of the Clippers team?
It's LA. I mean, it's a magical city, So at the same time, wow, that's the case. I'm not a big person on favoritism. I'm not really big on that. I understand that certain things come into play when you have these superstars and when you have a team to where you have to build some cohesiveness, and you have you have players with egos. And somebody, when it comes to the pay scale, everybody isn't going to get what they may feel the next person should get or deserve. Whatever. That's just how everybody's going to have their opinions and things. But I'm just not big on favoritism. And if that's the case, if there's things like that running rampant in the Clippers organization to the point where a superstar is literally using the women's bathroom to the point where they can't come in and they can't do what they need to do, or other teammates are being ostracized because this person is, quote unquote, the superstar, then yeah, I don't like that. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. And look, I'm a Doc Rivers fan. I don't like anybody throwing Doc Rivers under the bus. I think he's a damn solid coach. Even though he ain't got no chips, but still, he's a damn solid coach.
We got that one out of Boston. Doc's got some issues, but
yeah, I'm sorry, that one out of Boston. That's Boston. That's a whole nother. But I just, and then you got the whole Donald Sterling thing that came out some years ago with him being a racist, and so I mean, are you kind of surprised?
Hey, look, some of this stuff sounds a little like a stretch. I mean, like Doc Rivers has the respect of a lot of people in the NBA, and like I agree, Quan. Like I don't think I'm not a fan of favoritism, but as a coach, that there's certain things that make different players. Your players aren't all the same, So there is going to be sometimes you are going to treat some players, not sometimes, pretty much anytime you're going to treat your players a little bit differently based on who they are, and what makes them tick. But like Kawhi and PG controlled practice schedule, like how? Like this seems like with Doc Rivers as coach. So I mean, are you trying to say like, oh, we're gonna practice next week on Tuesday and Thursday. We ain't gonna practice on Friday. Like, were they making those type of decisions? I don't know about that, man. Who? I don't know. It just seems like a stretch.
I think part of it is, and look, I'm biased. I'm a Lakers fan, so I am biased. I have to acknowledge that. I think part of it is the Clippers spent millions of dollars running this campaign in LA, this we over me campaign, which was a clear shot at the Lakers having two superstars and the Lakers stuff. And it was a clear shot. Mm-hmm. And all season long, people said, all these things about the Clippers were actually going to apply to the Lakers, and it didn't. And so I think, there's a lot of hypocrisy going on. I also think that it's damning for the Clippers when you have Trez go to the Lakers and JaMychal Green go to Denver, the two other top teams in the West, right? And Trez had pointed out there were issues throughout the season, but people were basically saying that, well, Trez was they were blaming Trez for those issues. But JaMychal Green came out and said, they asked him about him going to Denver, and he referenced the way that Denver moved the ball, the way they played together as a team. That's got to be a shot at the Clippers. And I think star players are going to get star treatment. That's how it works. And frankly, they should. But I do agree. You can't have your star player living 3 hours away. That's ridiculous. And that's,
if it's affecting the travel schedule, yeah. But otherwise, I don't really care. I mean,
well, there's a chemistry issue, right?
How far did Kobe live from? Didn't he used to? He took his helicopter.
Yeah, but he lived in Orange County, which is in Los Angeles. He didn't live 3 hours away. So that's, okay. Basically, I think there's just you can't do the off-court chemistry building stuff if you're a star player 3 hours away. I think that's what they're talking about. And I think Kawhi is the kind of guy that comes in and he punches his time clock, he busts ass on the court, and he goes home. There's nothing outside of that. That's the kind of player I see.
But they knew that. But they knew that when they got Kawhi. And to be honest with you, wasn't that viewed as kind of like a positive? You bring in a guy with this supreme talent, and he's not going to cause you any issues in the locker room. He's going to come. He's going to be a gym rat. He's going to do his job. Now we bashing Kawhi for it. I don't know. I just think some of this stuff is a bit of
that's my thing. Like now, see, that's like I don't have issue. You come in, like you say, you come in, punch your time clock, you work hard, you doing what you got to do, punch your time clock out, and by the time you out, you gone. You have other things to do in your life. So that I'm in agreement to that.
Well, shout out to Brian who was in the comments. He's a beat writer for the Clippers, and he said Kawhi has a penthouse across from Staples Center. So he does have a place to stay across from Staples Center. But I
and as far as like JaMychal Green and Trez, I mean, Trez, what the hell else do you want, man? You got 6th man of the year. You was getting buckets. And so he could I don't know. Some of this is, I mean, they lost. So every team has issues. Like I'm pretty sure the Lakers even had their issues throughout the year.
No, not this year. We did.
They had so it was kumbaya all year. That's impossible.
All season long.
It's humanly impossible. You've got
all season
however many people in a same space for months at a time. Oh, I'm pretty sure they had their arguments.
The thing with the Lakers is, as Shaq and Kobe showed us, Lakers can be at each other's throats, or like LeBron and Anthony Davis showed, be great together, love each other. We still win. Unfortunately, other franchises can't pull that off.
You're comparing everybody else to the best players who've ever played the game. I
can't help it.
Kobe, Shaq, LeBron, AD, no, there are no other players like them. You're right.
And the Lakers paid big money for them four stars.
Hey, but So you think? Do you think that the issues that the article raised are nothing, or do you think there's something
No.
going into this new season?
I think it's something. You don't have when there's smoke, there's fire, and that's always there's something. There's something going on. Somebody snooping around. People around there, they're playing Lord Varys. There's people going around there.
Game of Thrones reference.
Yeah. You don't walk around there and make all that money and don't have insiders, and something like that comes out. It comes out for a reason.
Lou Williams said there were issues there. Said there were trust issues. I mean,
things break down because they lost, or maybe they lost because things broke down. Who knows? But I mean, it sounds like they lost. They were upset. They had high expectations. Had they won and made it to the finals, I don't know if all of this stuff would have came out. They probably would have blocked it out. But I'm not saying there's no issues there. What I'm saying is I'm not sure if these issues are uncommon. I mean, you have people working together, they're going to have issues. And you have a lot of high-profile players playing together. So when shit goes wrong, somebody going to have a problem with something. I should have got the ball more. You won 6th man of the year. You're not the best player of the team. You won 6th man of the year. What more do you want? How much more do you – are we supposed to go to you now? You the first option? Like some stuff is just like, yo, we lost and they upset and they moved on to situations that they felt are better. Oh, that's just what I see.
I think Trev wants a ring. And
well, he came to the right place.
Yeah, and he probably wanted more money too. You know, like
he could have got more from Charlotte. Charlotte offered him more money than the Lakers did or could. But
so okay, just real quick, what did the Clippers offer him? Or did the Clippers offer him peanuts over?
I don't know. Brian, if you're still in the chat, man, what did the Clippers offer Trez anything to come back? Brian said nothing.
So okay, well then I feel Trez then. So I come back, I'm 6th man of the year, and you want to give me peanuts? No, I'm out. I'm going somewhere. If I got to go across the street somewhere to a team that's going to value me, and I'm gonna win, I can win a ring, and you're gonna pay me, I'm out. I'm going. I'm taking my services elsewhere. Sorry for that.
How could I'm trying not to be biased because I'm a Lakers fan, man. But like I feel like a lot of this was brought on because the Clippers were clearly taking shots at the Lakers all season long, and not only the Clippers themselves, but like just the national media. The national media talking about Kawhi is more unselfish than LeBron, or Kawhi's better than LeBron, or the Clippers are somehow they're the team of LA. Like none of that stuff was true. None of it. And I feel like the epic meltdown losing to Denver, the way they lost to Denver, man, that was ugly.
But again, Denver is a good team. And as far as like these slogans, a lot of that is the marketing. I mean, shit. If I was head of the marketing department, I would have did the same thing too, man. We about to make money. We about to make this a LA Lakers versus Clippers thing too. Two power teams in the same city. Like you didn't see Kawhi going out there saying, yo, we gonna bust the Lakers' ass today. Like it wasn't him saying that.
He did that New Balance commercial saying that he was like the king of LA or something. Like that was a clear shot at LeBron.
It's entertainment, man. It's
like even Brian said the marketing was bad. Like it is entertainment, very much so. But like one franchise at the time had 16 championships and could arguably put together the greatest all-time team versus the NBA. Like
right. So the marketing department for the Clippers felt that they had to talk shit to be heard, and it backfired. So yeah, bad marketing. You got to come with a different angle this year. You can't come in talking shit. You got your ass beat. But what I'm trying to say is that it wasn't Doc Rivers going around talking shit. It wasn't Kawhi going around talking shit.
Doc did. So they asked Doc. They did ask Doc about load management earlier in the season, and they asked him what did he think the Lakers' load management would be, and Doc said whatever LeBron wants it to be. And then this article came out saying Kawhi could dictate when practices were, when he played, Paul George could do it. And so you're saying LeBron could do it on the Lakers' end. Meanwhile, your star players are really doing it on your end. Doc was talking shit too. And Doc has one championship with the Celtics, and they pretend that championship is like 3. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He talked a little ish too.
That's why earlier when I was saying,
okay, now we see where this.
I was like, goddamn chip. I was like, yeah, I totally disregarded the chip that he got in Boston. And
because Andrew Bynum was hurt and they wouldn't have won if Andrew Bynum was healthy. I'm saying it.
I get it now. I didn't put two and two together. Doc Rivers was the coach of the Celtics the last time you guys had a dynasty and you was talking shit. And now Doc Rivers is the head coach of the Clippers. I get it now. I put two and two together. I wonder why you went at Doc so hard. Now I get it.
Doc was talking ish. He did talk ish. I mean, it's so
Doc's a great coach though, bro. You still got
he's got more blown 3-1 leads than he does championships. He has a blown 3-1 lead in Orlando, one in Boston, and now one with the Clippers. Like,
speaking of blown 3-1 leads, let's talk about the Knicks now. Let's talk about how we blew getting three free agents and got Julius Randle. That was a
let's as Brian alluded, it's actually two. He had two blown 3-1 leads with the Clippers with the Lob City Clippers. So with Doc, you had Tracy McGrady. You didn't get a championship. You only got one championship out of the Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen trio. You didn't get a ring with the Lob City trio, and then you lost with Kawhi and Paul George. I mean, like,
okay.
You had some of the best players in their primes, and only got one championship.
But
but his competition had better players.
Exactly. That's what I was going to point out. Like, I mean, it wasn't like he was playing. He was playing against like literally the best players on against the world. Like he was playing against like maybe LeBron James. I mean, Kobe and Shaq. He squeezed that one chip out of his ass, and he had Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, and Paul Pierce, and he just squeaked out of that one. I mean, come on, we got to give it to him, man. You got to give it to him. He got to do.
He squeaked out. Didn't they bust y'all ass in the elimination game? I mean, it wasn't.
No, I'm just saying in the sense of the time he's been in the league to where he needs to go to to particularly get a ring. Like it took him that. I mean, it took him that long. So
I think that he's overrated as a coach. That's how I look at it. He's a championship coach, but like I think he's overrated. I know we went off on a bit of a tangent. I don't know where you rank him all the time in terms of coaches or where he ranks right now in the league, but like Doc is overly celebrated for that one championship. That's how I see it.
Wow.
Like, do you think he's better than Eric Spoelstra?
Hell yeah. What? Come on, yo. And Eric Spoelstra inherited that team, yo. Are you like really? Now look, granted where he's at now, and where he's at now, and where he took the Heat. Great job. Sticking through the fire when LeBron, when Bosh left, when Dwayne Wade, all of that. Great job, man. And to where you got,
Here's one. Is he Ty Lue's got one ring? Is he better than Ty Lue?
Yeah.
I would put him above Ty.
Yeah.
I would hire Doc before Ty Lue.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah. I'm used to Phil Jackson, so it's hard for me to.
That's what I'm saying. Like, your pedestal was up here. You're a Lakers guy, so like y'all have the greats, man. So I understand. I get it.
That's Brandon did bring it. Spoelstra and Doc Rivers. That one's got me thinking, man.
Yeah,
Spo's got what? Spo's got 3, right? No, Riley got that one in 2005. How many? Spo's got 2.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I don't just look at I don't just look at championships. I look at like the way they coach. Are they getting the most out of their players? The rosters that they have. So.
You don't think Doc underachieved with that Lob City team? They were good before Golden State became a juggernaut, and they failed.
They just didn't have that.
They just weren't. I mean, it was a good team. They compete. They were one of the better teams, but they just weren't the best team.
Yo,
they didn't have the best talent.
Golden State had that part, yo. Like, I mean, the Splash Brothers. Like, I mean, it was. Yo, they had it, yo. Like it's kind of was no comparison. They had good players and during that time with Doc had, but I mean, yo, you got the Warriors.
Brian threw one out. Is Doc better than Rick Carlisle?
Brandon, I'll defer to you on this one.
I mean, I don't think you. I think that's more of an opinionated question for me. I don't. I think Doc Rivers is a great coach. I think Carlisle is a great coach. I think what he did with Dallas, Carlisle. I mean, that was very impressive. I mean, what's his name? Another name. Well, I don't know. Larry Brown, because I'm trying to think back to championships that were won by teams where I felt the other team had more talent, and the underdog team was just being so coached just so they had great coaching. But that's like Larry Brown is definitely, I think he's a Hall of Fame coach. I don't know, man. Carlisle and Doc Rivers, I think you'll have a good team if you hire either coach. Neither one of them is going to guarantee you a championship, though. I mean, shit. Carlisle's got some shit. Dallas got some talent.
Yeah, they do. That they do. Brandon, you brought up the Knicks. Do you want to spend a few minutes talking about the Knicks?
No. Let's go on to. I'm not ready yet. I'll say this: I am excited for the young talent that we have. I want to see who the hell we tried out there as point guard. I want to see who's the point guard by the end of the season. I don't really care who's the point guard at the beginning of the season. Who's the point guard by the end of the season? I don't know, man.
Still don't know why y'all didn't make a play for Russ, but
we did. We just weren't giving up. We weren't giving up the house like they wanted us to, and which I think was a smart move so far.
Sucks for them. Good for us.
Yeah, the Wizards are better than the Knicks. The Wizards are better than the Knicks.
Well, let's jump to NFL Pickem, and I'm going to defer to Brandon to lead the show because I don't know a whole lot about the NFL these days. So,
yeah. Hey, I see Mikey in the comments. Hey, Mikey, log on real quick.
You can be in the comments. You can be on the show.
Right. No, I can't do it. All right. Anyway, we've got some pretty good games this week. Week 13 in the NFL. Sorry we didn't bring week 12 to y'all. Mike and Quan needed a break from me busting their ass for the past 5 weeks in a row.
Wow.
So
we let you get that, bro. We let you get that.
You let me get that? Oh man.
Let's see what you got over here in week 13.
Let's see what we got in week 13. Well, right now, I guess I should have pulled the graphic. Right now, I'm up 3 on Mikey, and I'm up 10 on you, Quan. I've got 88 W's. Mikey's got 85. You've got 78. So this is a big week for you, Quan. But I'm going to leave you guys further in the dust. So let's go ahead and get started. First game I got here. I had the Cleveland Browns at the Tennessee Titans. Quan, who you got?
I got Tennessee. Tennessee, baby. 21, Browns 14. This is going to be a great game, too. 2 of the best rushing attacks. Offense, It's going to be good.
Yeah, actually, yeah, you are right, Quan. These are the number 1 and number 2 rushing teams in the NFL. Next up, we got Vegas at the Jets. Oh man, who you got, Quan?
Raiders 21, Jets 3.
Raiders 21, Jets 3. Okay. I got I picked the Jets in this one. I don't. Hey, Baylor, if you're watching, my bad, bro. Well, a couple of reasons. I'll keep this quick. Jacobs is out, so he's not running the ball, and Vegas is reeling a little bit. So I picked the Jets to win. Next up, Jacksonville at Minnesota. Who you got, Quan?
Hold on. Before you go, Quan, Brandon Mike is dropping his picks, his scores in the chat.
Oh, I see. Okay, my bad. Okay, Mike's got Tennessee winning 30-24, and he's got Vegas. He's got Vegas 28-14. Quan, we got Jacksonville at Minnesota. Who you got?
I got Mini 21, Jag 17.
Okay, Parker's got Minnesota 24-17, and I have Minnesota as well 28-14. Next up, we've got Cincinnati at Miami. Who you got, Quan?
21 Dolphins, Bengals 7. No Burrow.
No Burrow. I tell you what, after watching the Bengals and the Giants game last week, I gained a little respect for Cincinnati. They're not winning a lot of games, but they're not actually bad. But I still got them losing. Miami, I got Miami 24-17. Mike has got Miami as well, 26-17. Next up, we've got the Indianapolis Colts at the Houston Texans. Quan, what you got?
I'm going with the Colts 23, Texans 9.
Damn.
Not Colts anymore.
You're not?
I'm not going against the Colts.
You're not going against the Colts. Okay.
No.
Yeah, their defense is serious, but there's just something about them. But I do have them winning this game 28-24. Mikey's got Indy as well, 26-21. Next up, we've got the Detroit Lions at the Chicago Bears. The Bears. Who you got, Quan?
Now, I am betting against the Lions because they suck. And I'm not going anymore when it comes to Matt Stafford. He needs to go. He's done. Lions 9, Bears 21.
Yeah, every time you put the smaller score in front of the larger one, it throws me off a little bit. But he's got Chicago with it. I agree with you, Quan. After seeing anybody who saw Detroit play Thanksgiving, or at least just saw the score, was like, nah, I can't put no money on them dudes no more. Chicago 21-17. I got them winning. Mike, holy moly, Mike, after watching the Lions on Thanksgiving, picks them to beat Chicago 17-16, I guess, because he just doesn't trust Trubisky. That Chicago offense does look pretty bad, and Allen Robinson is not playing. So he might get one there. We'll see. Next up, we've got the Saints at Atlanta. What's up, Quan?
I got them Who Dat boys winning 23 against them Falcons. Them dirty boys, them dirty birds, 17.
Okay. I got something similar here. I have the Saints winning as well, 27-24. Look, Mike said, did y'all watch Chicago against Green Bay? Good point. Touche. I got the Saints winning 27-24 in Atlanta. Mike's got Atlanta pulling this one out. Tight game, 24-23. I could see it going that way as well. Next up. Come on, Giants. We got the New York Football Giants at Seattle. Daniel Jones is doubtful, which really hurts my heart. Quan, who you got?
I got Seattle, and I got Seattle winning 23. And I'm just because we're brothers, I'm going to give you 14 points with the Giants.
You know what, Quan? You almost picked the exact same score I picked. I unfortunately picked Seattle to win this game 23-15. I mean, Colt McCoy, we saw him in Washington, and we saw him last week when he subbed in for Daniel Jones. Holy shit, we're in trouble. Mike's got Seattle as well, 24-17. Come on, Colt. This is the biggest game of your life. Next up, we got the Los Angeles Rams at the Arizona Cardinals. Quan, who you got?
Ooh, that's a good one. That's it's an in rivalry game. So I'm gonna go with the Rams. Yeah. 21.
You didn't think this one through before we went live. Clearly,
I didn't think this one through. I definitely didn't think.
This is the one you missed.
I did. I missed this one.
All right. Well, you got the Rams winning.
Yeah.
All right.
Rams.
All right. Yeah, because right now you're just throwing out numbers. Okay. Quan's got the Rams. I got the Rams as well, Quan. Good analysis without doing analysis. 24-23 is what I had them winning. 1 point, a close game. Mike, Mike, who you got, Yam? Or did you not do your pick either? You got a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're moving on. All right, next up, we've got New England at the Los Angeles Chargers. Who you got, Quan?
I got the New England Patriots, 14-10.
14-10. That sounds like a shitty game. I have New England winning as well, 25-24. Mike, you said you posted your Rams Arizona pick. I don't see it in the chat. Anyway, Mike's got the Chargers winning 21-20. Mike, post your Rams Arizona game again because I don't see it in the chat. Anyway, let's move on. Next up. Oh, yeah. I can't wait for this game because I can't wait to see them lose. We have the Philadelphia Eagles at the Green Bay Packers. Quan, who you got?
Packers 28, Eagles 14.
Damn, yo, we on point, yo. I almost had the same score. Packers 28, Philly 17. Let's go, Green Bay. Do what you're supposed to do. All right. Parker's got Green Bay 28-14. All right. Yeah, we all seem to have Green Bay beating up on Philly by at least 2 possessions this week. Next, we got Denver at KC. What you got, Quan? I mean, we all got KC, I'm pretty sure, but go ahead.
Yeah, KC 28, Denver 10.
Yeah, I got something similar. I got KC 38-16.
Wow.
I mean, I know it's a rivalry game, but yo, like, okay. Mike's got KC 33-14. Hey, I don't know. Denver might shut me up this week. We'll see. All right. This next one actually is an interesting game for me. Washington football team at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Quan, who you got?
Historically, we don't do well on Monday nights. We just don't. We are horrible on Monday nights, and we have the Steelers, who's undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna go with my boys, man. I'm gonna go Washington 23, Pittsburgh 17.
And can I just say that I went back and forth on this one, y'all. I initially picked y'all to win, but I have since changed my answer. But I can see y'all winning this game. I don't know. I replayed the game in my head, and Chase Young was giving Ben Roethlisberger a lot of fits. Yeah. But I did pick Pittsburgh. Hopefully this is a common sense pick, but I picked them to win 20-19. Mike, who you got, bro? Pittsburgh 27-10. Mike said bump that. Their pass rush ain't nothing. And you know what made me switch to Pittsburgh was I was like, you know what? They have a damn good pass rush themselves. Well, so maybe Alex Smith struggles a little bit more than Roethlisberger.
Well, one of the pass rushes is done for the season. Bud Dupree, he's out. So you still got. He
is out. He is out. But yeah, so I think. Go ahead.
You got TJ coming out there, and you still got. I think Stephon too. I don't know if he's playing, but that defense is stellar. So it's going to be a hard one, but we'll see.
Without Dupree, hopefully for you guys, Gibson gets off a little bit because Dupree is very good versus the run. Anyway, next game, Buffalo at San Francisco. Who you got going?
Buffalo 22, Niners 9.
Damn. Okay, I went Buffalo as well, 25-23. Parker, man, just type your next 2 scores, man.
Buffalo
24-17. Buffalo. Parker's got Buffalo 24-17. Okay. All right. Next up, last game. Here we have Dallas at Baltimore. Oh man. Now, had we had this matchup in like week 1 or 2, there'd be a lot of shit talking. Yo, we're going to the Super Bowl. This week, week 13, I think both fan bases are like, yo, I give up. and they probably don't give a shit. So who you got, Quan?
I'm gonna go with the home team. I'm gonna go with Baltimore 21, Cowboys 10.
17-10.
21.
21-10.
21-10.
Okay.
Ravens.
Okay. All right. This is an interesting score. I did this late last night, so I might have been sleepy. I picked the Cowboys to win.
Wow, you must have been on them no-dos. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
But check the score that I put down here: 27-13.
Wow.
I must have been dozing off, but I'm gonna stick with it because if I'm right, I'm gonna be like, I told y'all, nigga. Anyway, Mike, who you got? Be more 27-17. That'll probably be the score. I don't know why I picked Dallas, to be honest with you, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, that wraps up this week's edition of NFL Pickem with OTR. Again, I'm winning by a lot. I'll probably be winning by a lot after this week, but we'll continue and see what happens next week. Alex, take it away.
NFL, man. Great show, fellas. I think we all had a lot of fun on this one. I certainly enjoy hearing you guys go back and forth with the NFL, even though I don't follow it. Very, very funny commentary. So until we're back next week, folks, with OTR Sports, we're out.